Welcome back to Halmstad, Sweden, the home of Alico, and welcome back to the IPF World Open Powerlifting Championships 2018. And we are just about to get underway. The big boys have shown up to play the 120 kilo man. There is going to be enormous amounts of weight loaded on the bar. So much so, I saw the spotters and loaders and the organising committee getting extra weight to put in the racks for this session today. So there are a lot of Alico plates getting thrown around that platform. And of course, a big shout out to our sponsors, Alico, who continually raise the bar, producers of the finest strength equipment in the world. Uplift, one of the greatest online coaching platforms ever to hit the market. Get online, download the Uplift app from Google Play Store or the Apple Store. Get online and find your coach and get your career started or take it to the next level. And of course, SBD, makers of the finest powerlifting products on the planet. And I am joined here this afternoon for the 120 men by none other than Elliot Bulldog Feldman. Welcome back to the commentary box.
How you doing today, Gary?
It has been another long and exciting day, and it's just getting better and better. I'm looking at that scoreboard with the nominated opening lifts, and there are some big squats coming our way.
Yeah, I mean, when you look, we're starting all the way from 302.5, running all the way up to 410 kilos for the opening squat. There's probably going to be probably as many as 6 or 7 athletes here going over 400.
Yeah, we're going to see the 400s get thrown around, and just give you an idea of just how powerful these 120 men are. The world record, 430 kilos. The junior record, 415 kilos. And the M1 record, 413 kilos. They are huge. And getting us off the bat, Katsui Sasaki from Japan, 302.5 kilograms, 666 pounds. Now, it's hard to get an idea of just how big these guys are on your TV screen, but these guys are absolute giants. 302.5 on the bar. And we'll have 2 flights this afternoon. So we'll get flight 1 through all the squats, roll straight into flight 2. Good control, sinking into the bottom there. No problems with that one. On the board with 2 white lights, just ahead referee saying maybe it wasn't quite deep enough, but it's 2-1 and that's good enough to go on the board. Alaxo from Sweden, 315 kilograms. You're going to see these numbers climb really fast. Here he comes, the big man from Sweden, 315 kilograms.
Joachim Laxo.
Wants to dig that bar in as tight as he can.
If you watch, Laxo has a lot more of a high bar style than a lot of these other larger lifters.
Yeah, look, and there's some advantage to a high bar lift as well, as there is to a low bar lift. That high bar position keeps his chest in a very upright position.
And you got to find your own style. You don't want to imitate somebody else's style.
Yeah, look, you've got to find what fits you.
Right, especially if they're a different body type. If they're a different body type, you definitely do not want to try and imitate
And he just didn't quite get deep enough. 2 referees giving a red light. And if you are a 120 or a heavyweight lifter, have a look at these guys. They're doing mobility work all the time. Have a look at how close they can. Some of these guys can actually get their arms into the bar, get them nice and close to their shoulders, tighten right up. You know, they spend a lot of time working on that mobility so they can actually get in and get tight.
And the bigger you get, the more mobility work you have to do to get your shoulders in if you've been watching with us this week, Gary and I have kind of commented on some of the lighter lifters, especially having their hands all the way in, almost touching their shoulders. The larger lifters you will see here, hands are a little bit farther out.
Yeah, look, it's a little bit harder, but they work on that. Chandrav Shure from Mongolia, 320 kilograms on the bar. Sinks it in nicely. Wow, that was easy. That was very, very quick opening lift.
You know, we've been saying it all week. The Mongolians just get better and better. They came in, 4 or 5 years ago. They were just great bench pressers and just so-so deadlifters and absolutely downright poor squatters. They have become much better.
They've certainly turned that around. Right now, Jack Johnson, Great Britain, 320 kilograms. Another junior lifter competing at this high level. It's that wide stance that he uses. And slams it back to the top. That should be a good lift, and it is. 3 white lights.
Jack's right on pace to exceed his PB, so PB's of 345. He'll probably go. That looked a little tough. 40 or 40. All right, he's got. What do you think? 40 or 42 and a half? Would you go there?
Yeah, look, I think he's got 40, 42 and a half in him, maybe 42 and a half for a second. Soren Kazaku from Romania, 330 goes on the bar. Gets down into it, stands back up very, very easily. And he gets 2 white lights and it's on the board.
335 kgs on the bar. Record for Mathias Christensen, Denmark.
Matthias Christensen from Denmark, 335. These guys are just warming up now.
It's amazing we're not even halfway through this flight and Matthias is already at 335.
Yeah, it just keeps climbing and climbing. So there's an example of one of the heavier weight lifters putting the arms all the way out. Some don't necessarily do it because of mobility. Some actually do it because of the position works for them.
It also makes it easier for some people to get it out of the rack, too. You have a little bit less of a lip to go off.
Oh, he got a little bit off center there. Did he get down low enough? Not deep enough.
So they called the red card there is for depth. Blue, knees not locking out to finish the lift. Let's see here.
Yeah, depth just wasn't really there, was it?
And then let's watch the knees on the lockout.
And his left knee there is really soft.
It's really, really soft. The right knee was locked out, so.
Christoph Seefeld from Germany, 342 and a half. This is pretty close to his personal best of 345. Depth is good. Geez, he sat around down the bottom there for a while, didn't he?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, but he got the 3 white lights, and that's how he likes to do it. Carlos Manuel Campos Murillo from Costa Rica, 355.
Coach of the Costa Rican team, and he's also going to host the NAPF, North American Powerlifting Regional Championships next year in Costa
fantastic.
Rica. It'll be the 5th international championship held in Costa Rica.
Well, we talk about how all the people around here live and breathe powerlifting. No one's an exception.
You know, honestly, for me, you talk about we're all into powerlifting, we live powerlifting. It's kind of like a vine for me. It's just taking over more and more of my life, and I enjoy it more and more every year.
355, that big step on the walkout. Very quick lift there. Let's see what the referee's saying. Not getting down there. Looked a little bit shy.
And that was, you know, that is the problem that Carlos has had. He is coming in here. Manolo has become a much more solid lifter on the walkout. He used to be a little wild. Still having a problem with depth. He'll crush that on the second one. But he is maturing both mentally and physically as a lifter. You know, he will in the next few years wind up on the medal stand. I've just seen him. He's one of those lifters who's continued to develop, continued to get better, put his ego aside, listen to people, and he's, you know, gotten better. So now Katsuo's up from Japan.
312.5 goes on the bar. So he's got 312.5 on there. Did a 320 last year. But haven't seen a whole lot from him this year. Sinks it in, stalls a little bit midway through, but just managed to get enough muscle, but not deep enough. We'll get to see the replay on this one. Some of the guys just struggling to get deep enough on these. And just pulling up a little bit shy. Luxo from Sweden, 320, missed the 315. Throwing a few extra kilos on there to try and push him down into it a bit. Hopefully it works.
You know, it looks like we have a good shot of 9 of these lifters going over 1,000. There's going to be a heck of a battle. I mean, Byshkov comes in here, and he's the dominant lifter, but he's got to do what he needs to do to try and stave off everybody else, to stave off the Russian Gardenchev. And right behind them, everybody is packed in down to about 6th or 7th place. So it's going to be exciting. Hold on. We're not going to probably see any world record attempts in any of the disciplines, but it's going to be exciting, and strategy will be important.
Sinks it down and stands it up. Let's see what the referees say. It is 2 white lights. It's enough to put it on the board. That extra few kilos helped get him down there.
Yeah, that time he was definitely down. You could see it was, the hip crease was definitely below the top of the knee.
Jack Johnson from Great Britain, 330 kilos on the bar.
Chris Johnson, next lifter.
Look at the intensity of the spotters there. How serious they are about their job.
They have been outstanding this week. Not only have they been quick to load and unload, they have been super quick at catching whenever they've needed to. Got down nice and deep, but just really looked at it like he was a little far forward over it.
I mean, that looked a little tough there for Jack. The opener would look tough.
Yeah,
I'm not shocked that happened right there.
Yeah, look, and you watch him come down, he's very, very forward. His chest is right down, and his hips kind of pop up before his chest does.
I mean, I think he's got as much talent as anybody in this. But, I mean, after just turning 20, you know, the hardest thing with young lifters, I know when you're coaching, is just to get them in the gym and get them to do their work.
Yeah, it's always hard with young lifters. Matthias Christensen from Denmark, 335. That wide hand position. And in the squat, they're allowed to come all the way out with their hands. There's no ruling on the 81 centimeters like the bench. And you could see, even at the start of that lift, he had a bit of a bobble and didn't look confident.
Yeah, he had a bit of a bobble, which he might have gotten a yellow card for.
Yeah, and I think he probably would have. And then as he came down, he just, there's the bobble.
Watch his knees.
And he was just tracking forward there, all out of sorts. Great job from the spotters there. Didn't even let him run into the rack. Caught him very quickly.
Yeah, now what do you do here? He's missed 335 twice. That one was a term catastrophic failure.
Yeah, look,
I
don't think the option for them is to put anything more on there to help push him down. I think it's really a case of just trying to get that technique right. It just seems to be very uncomfortable under the bar.
I think it's a technique thing. For the lifter's sake of mine, though, I think I might go just 2.5 kilos. Even that, it's not going to look at this size. It's not going to change much.
2.5 kilos of that weight isn't going to really feel any different.
No, it's not going to feel any different. But to change his psychology a little bit and flip him around, hey, we got more down. You'll be able more on the bar. You'll be able to get down more easily now.
John Ruff just having a bit of trouble with 340 there. These guys are really pushing the envelope. A 20-kilo jump just showing to be a little bit too much for him.
These guys are all packed together here in A group, so.
Yeah, look, everyone's trying to push themselves up in a position, move up the charts a little bit further. Yeah, they're pushing the envelope. Soren Kazaku from Romania, 350 kilograms on the bar.
Seafield next lifter.
Yeah, Kazaku used to compete in the 120 pluses. Now in the 120s. The 120 pluses, he at a 382.5. So he's no stranger to the big weight.
Yeah, and he's been European Masters champion before multiple times. So he is an accomplished lifter.
Has the experience.
31 nationals, 31 internationals. I'm sorry.
He is very strong, but just not getting deep enough on that one. Christoph Seefeld from Germany, 350 kilograms.
I mean, all these lifters coming in here, especially the A-flight lifters, have their goal. So the first thing they want to do is hit their own personal goals that they set their sights on. Secondly, then, is trying to get a medal, obviously, in one of the disciplines. But also, these guys are fighting for respect from each other and self-respect here in the group.
Very much.
So they're going to try for placing even against people within their own group. And Shurai from Mongolia has scratched his third attempt. I think that was a smart decision.
Yeah, look, he was just struggling to really get comfortable under there.
It's a good lift there.
Good lift on that one.
All right, so Manolo came out before and just wasn't deep enough. I mean, it was really close. Wow.
So we got 355 on the bar.
So Manolo was not quite deep enough. And interestingly enough, he's being coached by one of his lifters there from Costa Rica. But big Mike Z from the USA is also helping coach Manolo.
Yeah, look, I saw him come out before. Campos Murillo from Costa Rica.
I mean, when we say that everybody crosses national lines and it doesn't really matter, even within teams, it's really true. So you now have an American who's one of the American team coaches helping a Costa Rican head coach.
Look, everybody supports everyone in this sport. Depth
There
is
we
really good.
See, and that's where he's gotten to now. He's strong as an ox. He just has to be able to demonstrate that on the platform.
Whoa, and he's gotten pulled up with 2 red lights from this side.
They
Look
need
good.
to go to the jury. They need to go to the jury with that.
They are going to go to the jury with that one.
Come on.
Yeah, look, it's really hard to tell from where we're sitting what sort of angle they're getting. Yeah, from the angle we had, certainly I said it looked good, but the referees have a very, very different view and are right up in the action. But right now, Katsui Tasaki from Japan, 312.5. And they don't look like they're walking away from the jury panel very happy.
But now you make a decision. I mean, Manolo crushed that, but where do you go? What do? Do you put more on to try to make up? But you got to get a lift in. So right now, Katsuo is up 312.5.
He's a little bit off balance on his walkout. Didn't look overly steady there. He struggled with this one on the second attempt.
Looks a little high on that.
Yeah, look, his power was a million times better on that one. And he just gets down there, sneaks it in, and gets it on the board at 2-1. Luxo from Sweden with 330 on the bar. So he missed his opener, threw an extra few kilos on and pushed him down into it. Now looking at 330.
Followed in 1 minute, Luxo, Sweden. Johnson, prepare yourself.
So Christensen from Denmark missed 335 twice, has scratched, means he will not record a total.
Yeah, it's an interesting decision, and I'm going to wonder if he's got some sort of an injury happening, something's not right.
You know, knowing Matthias, he would not give up that easily. He would try to take it anyway. Something must have happened on one of those 2 attempts, or he had something even coming in.
330 kilograms. And just got a little out of balance. He looked like he was having a really hard time pushing through the suit and the knee wraps, then got off balance. But he gets a lift on the board though. Jack Johnson, 330.
Followed in 1 minute, Johnson, Great Britain. Campos Murillo, next lifter.
Well, Jack, his opener was okay, but looked very, very hard.
Yeah, it wasn't super fast.
No, this was not good. Now, Jack is not what I would say is described as an athletic squatter. So he's not a quick. He uses a lot of his strength. So let's see what happens here. There are times when he smokes something, it still looks slow. But let's see what Jackie does here on 330.
Yeah, he's just not lifting that chest up. He's folding at the bottom. His hips are popping up first. Just a little bit out of time. But he gets one on the board, so that's okay. Carlos Emmanuel Campos Murillo from Costa Rica, 355. He's missed his opener. He's missed his second. He has to get this on the board.
Followed in 1 minute, Carlos Manuel Campos Murillo, Costa Rica.
And it's well within striking range. I mean, he's got a personal best of 365.
So he needs
just,
support.
and the power isn't the problem. He's just struggling to get down into that depth.
Full support. It's time out for changing the openers for the second flights.
He needs this here, and he's going to get some anger going here.
Yeah, he's got to get really into this. Got to sit right back into it. Trust in his technique.
Come on, Manolo.
He has the strength and power to drop it down. He just has to trust. That looks good. Can he get up?
All right, let's see if they go to.
Yeah, I think they're going to. I think he's got the 3 red lights because he didn't complete the lift. But I don't know if they're going to have a chat to the jury about that. And he is going to be really disappointed with that. No, he was getting off balance there.
He was
Spotters
off
did
balance.
the
It
right
was a
thing.
good catch. It's a good catch.
Yeah, Spotters made the correct move there. The angle we were looking at, we couldn't really see him falling back.
No, and he went
But
very,
the spotters
very
read
deep
that
on that.
very, very well. Soren Kazaku from Romania, 3:57.5. He's had to work hard for it.
Wow. And took a big jump, too, off of a miss.
Sure was. And he gets it. It's paid off, though. And he puts it on the board. And Christoph Seefeld from Germany now, 3:57.5 as well.
Followed in 1 minute, Seefeld, Germany.
3:57.5 for a personal best lift.
The first lifter in the second group.
Here he goes. A good steady walk out there. Sits back into it well. Gets down the hole. He's having to work. He really hangs around down the bottom and just doesn't get that bounce, does he?
He doesn't bounce out. It's like he's feeling for the bottom. I don't know how much he trains in the suit. You really have to drive into it. And his finger got caught a little bit. He's okay.
Well, we'll move on straight into the second flight now with Ivan Goroshev from Russia, 3:55.
Followed in Aryashev, Russia, 3:55. Sarik, next lifter.
3:55 on the bar, and we are going to see some really, really big numbers in this flight.
Half of this flight may go over 400.
Ivan's going to get the ball rolling.
It's amazing when you get to the larger lifters, the 120s, 120 pluses, the hush falls over the crowd when they come out to lift.
Yeah, there's a nice big cheer as they walk on, and then as soon as they hit the platform, everything just goes silent.
It is. The air almost goes out of the room.
Oh, drops it in there and gets the good bounce off the knee wraps.
Very good.
And he gets it on the board with 3 white lights.
Now, what we're seeing here with the elite lifters in this group, not just that they're stronger, obviously, because they're organized by total, but you see far better technique, and when they get in trouble, they do not abandon that technique.
Yeah, look, and that's how you get out of trouble, is you stay with the technique, trust in it. Trust that the technique is going to pull you through. And here comes Thomas Sarik, Czechia, 3:65. All those Alico plates lined up.
He's a very experienced lifter again. He's done at least 30 internationals.
Very, very smooth lift. Very confident. Gets the 2 white lights.
You know, I hope the B group lifters watched a little bit, or the coaches, how this platform was functioning based on the A group.
Well, Quinton Meyer now from the US of A at 365 as well. Well under his personal best.
And what you notice about Q, everything is thick on him.
Gets that big breath of air, sinks it in. It is a tough opening lift.
Yes, that's a good lift for
And it's on the board with 3 white lights. Victor Samuelsson from Iceland, 370.
Ballard 1 minute, Samuelsson, Iceland.
So he just came in 4th in the EPF championships recently.
And here he is on the world stage at the World Championships in Sweden. You're not going to see that many Alico plates lined up on a bar in many other places than the World Championships. Listening to his coach for the up call. Gets it back to the top with a little bit of a smile on his face.
Yes,
and it's 2 white lights on the board.
Beautiful. Watch the depth here. He hits it. There he goes. It is very hard work judging the super heavyweights, the 120s and the 120 pluses.
Yeah, look, we were talking about that earlier today in the 84 pluses and how hard it is, you know, as a referee to really catch that depth. Right now, though, Dominic Powell from Germany, 375.
I mean, these lifters are judged to the exact same standard. The difference with the larger lifters is you have to use a different technique to be able to pick up the lines of sight. So the standard is exactly the same.
Yeah, we certainly don't change the standard for the lifter size. They've still got to get depth as according to the rules. Has no problem standing back up. What do the referees say about this one? It's on the board at 2 white lights.
And again, you're seeing a lot of 2-to-1 good lifts. You will tend to see that in the larger lifters. Smaller lifters, you tend to see a lot more 3 white light lifts. That's fine. It doesn't matter how you get there. All it takes is 2 of them.
You only need the 2 out of 3. Cody Yampa from US of A, 382.5.
Now just to let you know how this kid is advancing, remember this name. His PB is 380.
And it's 382.5 now.
Every time that I see this kid, he gets better. He's gone 325, 2015, 67.5 and 17. Was a little beat up the year before. Now 380 at our nationals, and again, now 382.5 here.
Ooh, gets a little bit off balance, but manages to
Very
regather.
close. Very close.
He regathered that very well, but unfortunately just not getting down low enough.
He didn't really attack it. We're seeing that with a number of these inexperienced lifters. And, you know, for Cody, this is really his first bite at the apple here internationally. A little bit nervous. I'm willing to bet he comes back and nails that second one.
Yeah, look, he's got the first lift nerves off the bat now. He's got thrown the cobwebs out. Right now, all the way from France, Sofiane Belkaceur, 390 kilograms goes on the bar.
He is, you know, I always talk about there's lifters that you're just fans of and you love watching them lift. Sofian is one of those that I love. I don't know why. I just like watching him compete. It might be that deadlift of his.
All right, now he's looking at 390. Well, he handles the weight without any problems. And he gets the 3 white lights to get it on the board.
Très bien, Sofian.
Alexei Vyshkov from the Ukraine, 400 kilograms on the bar.
Followed in 1 minute, Vyshkov, Ukraine. GM, next lifter.
And he is a very, very large-looking man. I think that's part of his technique to give the bar a heart attack.
He comes in here with an 80-kilo higher qualifying total than any other athlete here.
Well, now he's got to put it all together.
You gotta hit the numbers. Putting them in is not enough.
Boy, he gets down deep, doesn't he?
Yes, he does.
Gets down deep and he stands that up like it's nothing. 3 white lights. That's a great technique, scaring the bar into coming up.
See how he shakes a little bit here when he's coming? He shakes.
Yeah, he gets a little bit off balance and shakes around a little bit, but boy, he just handled that 400.
He used to
so
shake
much easier than you'd expect to see 400 come up.
He used to shake a lot more than that. 2014, he was shaking in his setup so much I thought the bar was going to shake off of him. It was amazing. He has gotten 1,000% better. I mean, obviously the guy just squatted 400 to say he's getting better, but he's getting better year after year.
Chai San Chen, Chinese Taipei, 405.
And Chinese Taipei is really coming on with Yang Sen and this
look,
kid
we
right
saw
here.
a medal
Chen.
yesterday from Chinese Taipei.
And again, you're talking about a really young kid. Chinese Taipei in the heavier body weights is really coming on. It's kind of an interesting team. Chinese Taipei has a lot of smaller competitors and then much bigger competitors. Not as many in the middle weight classes, but Shishen right here, 405.
Ooh, he's getting himself out of sorts there. Just all over the place. Knees tracking forward, feet lifting.
Yeah, and that's 2-to-1 Reds right there.
Reloading the bar to 375 kgs record for Tumasai.
Have a look at the replay here. You can see he just gets all out of shape.
See, he kicks back like that when you see the hip move back. The bar shifts back with him. So the bar comes, generally you want to stay in the back third of your arch. So he put that back onto his heels. And when you put the weight back on your heels, Gary, where do you go?
Well, you're going to go backwards. Thomas Sarek, Czechia, 375.
This physics thing, if you do the math right, it doesn't fail you.
Here it comes. Thomas Sarek, Czech Republic. 375 kgs.
$375 on the bar. Oh, I think his personal best is 380.
It is 380. And last year he finished second in this class in Pilsen. I believe you and I called that together.
We certainly did. Well, 375 was very smooth all the way through.
Looked very good. Very, very good.
On the bar, record for Quentin Mayer, USA.
Quentin Meyer, US of A, 375 kilograms on the bar.
Mayer, USA. With your chef, next week.
You know, Quentin's going to come in here and try to have a good meet, but, you know, put up as many PBs as he can, make as many attempts, hope somebody ahead of him makes a mistake. He could be on the medal stand in let's say, about bronze position.
Well, this lift right here puts him on a predicted total of crack on 1,000. And it it didn't look like he got very deep on that one. And there was no real acceleration out of the bottom.
Now, he struggled with his opener, too.
He really needs to get back into it, get a little bit of bounce out and get a bit more acceleration, lift that chest up and chase it through. Ivan Gorochev from Russia, 380. That is a lot of Alico plates. And you've got to take your hat off to the quality of the Alico products, though. That bar has been to hell and back all week.
Yeah, by rule, the same bar is used for the entire championship.
You can show me another bar that can take the punishment that that one does. I'll be impressed. Oh, look. He just didn't look confident with that.
Nope.
His walkout was shaky. He gets it on the board, though.
But you'll find out some of the Russians will do this. Watch, they kind of stop almost and then drop forcibly into the hole. Watch, down, down, down. Hold it, and then drop. So this is something new they've been working on. I don't know if that's going to if they're all going to do it, but it's something I've seen in the last 2 years.
Yeah, look, and that sort of down, 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 stop or pause a little and drop is very synonymous of classic lifting as well.
But
we're using that stretch shortening cycle.
Exactly, and it may be that training raw is getting them to do that. But the thing to watch is it looked a little bit high. So let's see what happens here on the third.
Dominic Paul, Germany, 382.5. He's quite a tall lifter. He's got a long way to move that bar. Gets the call from his coach there to stand back up.
Let's see what the referee
A great
says.
Beautiful Wolf, and it's on the board with two white lights.
382.5 kgs on the bar rectile.
Victor Samuelsson from Iceland, 382.5.
Samuelsson, Iceland, 382.5. Japan, next lifter.
This will be a personal best by a couple of kilos. If you're watching this at home on Facebook, switch to the Olympic channel for the first time in history and watch it all around the world live on olympicchannel.com. And just getting a little bit off balance there.
Losing your balance, no lift.
And that's a no lift.
I mean, we're seeing an awful lot of red here on this. Not enough green for me. We've already lost two athletes. Campos Mario, we lost, and Christensen from Denmark. Christensen, I think, was injured.
Yeah, look, Christensen had 2 attempts, then scratched his third, and
that's unusual.
For someone to come this far and scratch their third, and not even attempt that third, even though they've missed 2, more likely an injury or there's something has gone wrong.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you come a long way. You've been training all year. Right now, we have Cody Giampa, 382.5, did not look comfortable, and I think the fact that that's his first squat attempt in an international probably played into that a little bit. Let's see here right now. Let's see if the walkout's a little more consistent. We should know from the walkout how he's feeling.
Yeah, you can really tell when they walk out with that bar how confident they are with the weight, how prepared they are. That looked a lot better on his walkout.
Much better. Still is close. It's
Now,
so close.
It's going to be a borderline
Wow.
top call. We'll wait and see. And the referees say not deep enough.
You know, when I say it's close like that, you're leaving it in the hands of the referee. You're not making a definitive move with it.
Yeah, look,
It's
we talk about it all the time. You want to get out there and be convincing. Don't give the referee something to think about. You know, get down there, make it really convincing. Yep, I'm deep enough. Sofiane from France, 4:02.5.
This will be our second athlete over 400 kilos, 887 pounds on the bar. Now see how Sofiane has one side in on his right.
There's just been a misload on the bar.
Yep.
Now he should get a new clock.
So see how on screen left, his right-hand side, he has that in. That will be the hand more than likely that he takes out first. He likes it to be a little bit shorter and be able to get it over there. So he's checking the rack. So he takes that right step first, then the left, and then the right spread.
Ooh, got a little bit of a twist going there, but he managed to control it.
Good fighting, and referees are saying yes. That's
And
Three
he
white,
gets in there,
2
2
to
to
1.
1.
2 to 1. And if you see Sofiane with his mouth open and his tongue, he's sucking in air to do a Valsalva, be able to push against his belt to stabilize his spine.
Yeah, so these guys are bringing as much air as they can. They want a big breath. They want to push into the belt, increase that intra-abdominal pressure, and that tightens the entire system through the torso region there.
You want to say that to me one more time? Intra-abdominal pressure.
Intra-abdominal pressure.
Pressure.
Chi Sen Chen, Chinese Taipei, 415 kilograms for a personal best.
Now, he missed this 405, jumped up to 415.
They've thrown an extra 10 on the bar.
He just couldn't reach depth, and I'm hoping that it works for him right here. I don't know if I would have gone 415.
Yeah, look, that extra 10, that's a big call. It's a personal best as well, so there's that confidence thing. You know, he's never had this on his back before.
I mean, I would have tried 5 before 10. Anyway, let's see what happens here. He's walking out okay with, see, the setup is kind of sketchy here.
Yeah, look, he's
that
just
worries me.
struggling to steady the bar.
He's not even able really to get his
And
head
it
up.
looks heavy. But he managed to stand it back up.
That's a
And
heck
the
of an
referee
attempt
say
right there.
2 to 1.
And that's a 2 to 1 call right
Wow.
there. That is a 2 to 1 lift.
That was a big call from the coaches as well. Alexei Vichov from the Ukraine, 415 on the bar.
Followed in 1 minute, Vishkov, Ukraine.
415.
Well, he is trying to make it 4 years in a row that he has won this class.
Well,
that's
if
his
he can get these on the board,
Yep.
he's going to put himself in a very, very strong position.
You know, and his advantage is that he's good in all 3 lifts. That helps tremendously. It gives you a lot more kilos to play with. If you don't do well in one of your lifts, you can pick it up in one of the other 2.
You know, he's one of those lifters that has a walkout that you think, oh, wow, is that too heavy? And then he just absolutely smokes it. Like that. And thank you, Alexei, for making me right there. And puts that one on the board. So now we move into the 3rd round of squats for the second flight. Quinton Meyer from the US of A, 375.
I mean, if Quinton wants to get onto the medal stand, obviously, as we said earlier, he needs someone else to make a mistake ahead of him. But he's got to be almost immaculate from here on out.
As much as he needs someone to make a mistake in front of him, he has to be consistent. And if he's going to miss the lifts, he's going to miss the opportunities. 375 on the bar, missing this on his second, so really needs to get this one on there.
Yeah, this is definitely not the world of participation medals here. You know, these guys are coming in the fight. No one is going to give you anything here on the World Championship stage.
Oh, he's really struggling, but he just can't muscle it through. He just didn't get any speed out of the bottom.
382.5 kg.
So he'd be a little bit disappointed with that. Just didn't get any speed out of the hole there at all.
And guess who was put on a world record weight?
Well, look, we had a feeling it was going to happen.
And here comes right now Victor Samuelsson, Iceland.
Victor Samuelsson from Iceland. 382.5.
He just got the bar just kind of got away from him a little bit. Wasn't comfortable. Looked much better than
look, that
attempt.
looked a lot better. And it is. He gets 2-1. It's on the board.
Still 382.5 kg on the bar.
That looked very good.
Record for Thomas Sarek, Czech Republic, bar loaded.
All right, here comes Thomas Sarek.
Thomas Sarek, Czechia, 382.5 for a personal best. He's been consistent, 365, 375, now 382.5.
He is a very consistent lifter year in and year out. Comes in, hits his numbers, gets his placing. A lot of years he's able to jump up onto the medal stand. And again, here's a guy who he needs somebody else usually to make a mistake in front of him, but he doesn't make big mistakes, so it helps him take advantage.
Yeah, and we talk about it over and over again, how important it is to get those lifts on the board and it puts you in a position. Wow, how did he pull that back?
That is a tough lifter right there.
It looked like he was going to fall back.
Yes.
Three white lights. If you look at the replay, it looked like he was going to shuffle back on those heels. Somehow he managed to straighten it back up.
On the bar. Record for Cody Giampa, USA. Bar loaded. Take a look
And
now.
there, but then he managed to straighten it back up again.
Come on, Cody.
All right, here comes the first pressure point of this B group.
382.5. Missed it once, missed it twice. It is now do or die.
I mean, in his first international, going to have some nerves in the first. The second, he came out strong, just didn't hit it. He came out way more confident. I think he felt a bit better. Now, how's his mindset here? You know, the first one, that's not bothering him. But that second one, he was ready for it.
Yeah, that one really hurts.
That one hurts mentally. Physically, it doesn't hurt. He made the lift. It was efficient, just didn't get deep enough. And that walkout looks good. Looks light on his back.
Yeah,
Let's
look,
see what
it
he does.
doesn't look like the weight is any problem at all. He just casually walks out. That looks better, but it's going to be
Still
close. And it is. It's on the board. Saves his skin. The Dominic Pohl from Germany now with 387.5.
This is 7.5 kilos over his PB. PB was 380. He made it. 382.5 on his second.
Right now he's looking at 387.5, and he's got a great man in his corner.
Did Marvel. Former coach of the Norwegian team, now is handling the German team.
All right, let's see how he goes. Yeah, the walkout was pretty smooth. Weight doesn't seem to bother him. And just as he gets part way up there, shakes it off. Ivan Gorochev from Russia, 392.5.
that 380 was pretty good for him, so let's see what he does here with 392.5. It's a 12.5 kilo jump. He went 15, now he's going 12.
Yeah, look, and he's no stranger to this weight. He's lifted well over this before. Yeah, so his mind and his body recognise the weight. He's not a stranger. $3,925. His walkout's a little unsteady, but he settles it quickly. Depth looks good from where we're sitting. Let's see what the refs see.
Strong.
And they do. 3 white lights. It's on the board. The numbers keep growing now. Sofyan, 4:07.5.
I almost wonder if Gorbachev, he comes in with a 4:12.5 nominated squat, and that was 392.5, and it looked a little tough for him. I think part of what he's trying to do is Bychkov has got to make a mistake for him to jump up there in a gold medal position, but Chen is right behind him, and I think he kind of wants to hold him. And this man, Sofiane Belkacem from France, he wants to hold them off and hang on to that silver medal.
Yeah, and look at this where it's really important for him to just come out and do his job, not make silly mistakes. $4,075. Getting that big breath of air, as much as he can get in. Stands it up. Well, let's see what the referees say. It's a good lift. It's on the board at 4:07.5.
That's a 7.5 kilo PB for him. He just set 400 as a PB at EPF Championships.
That's a big jump. Chai Hsien Chen from Chinese Taipei now, 417.5 kilograms.
Now he missed 405, did not get the depth. Moved up to 415 kilos.
That was a huge call from the coach to do that.
Going up 10 kilos.
But it seemed to pay off, and now 417.5. And his 415 when he was walking out looked like he was going to get in all sorts of trouble. And then somehow...
I think he's not coming out. I was going to say that would be a weird choice. That 412.5. I'm sorry, 417.5. It's just an odd choice. So what he's doing is he's leaving the time in for Bychkov.
He's leaving the extra minute on there. So, you could scratch out. But if he does that, they don't get the minute to move on to the next lift.
And Bychkov's up now with 430 kilos. The world record standard is 430, so no one owns that record yet. Bychkov only has to tie it.
All right, so this will set the world record at 4:30.
Referee lights, please.
It's a big call, 4:15 to 4:30. But if anyone can do it, it's Alexei.
This is a world record champ in minus 120
430 kilograms, and his 400 and his 415 look fantastic.
Yeah, the 415.
But it's a big jump to 430.
Looked real easy. And it's hard to tell with him on the walkout because he shakes so much and looks so unsteady.
He's one of those guys that just never looks that comfortable under the bar. And then as soon as he gets the start call, everything suddenly looks comfortable.
I mean, there's a few lifters in the world that are like that. They're kind of shaking. They get the squat command. Their body instantly stops shaking. They go down.
Do we get to see another world record this afternoon?
Wow, the crowd's getting big. I just turned around and took a look. Talking about hearing the hush right there. Everybody's dead quiet.
he's going to have to work for it, but it's just a little bit too much there.
Man, the crowd is just...
He gave it everything he had. I bet he wishes he could do that one over again.
Wow.
Well, don't go too far away. In 10 minutes' time, we're going to see these big boys hit the bench press, and that is always, always impressive. Don't go far away. 10 minutes' time, we'll be right back. OlympicChannel.com. Welcome back to Halmstad, Sweden for the IPF World Open Powerlifting Championships 2018, and we are just about to get underway for the bench press with the 120 men. And the squats were big enough numbers, but I'll tell you what, I always love watching the bench press on the 120s and the 120 pluses. It's always something special. And of course, joining me again for this session, Elliot Bulldog Feldman. Welcome back. What is your prognosis?
I mean, right now, after that massive 415 squat by Bishkov, it's on right here. I mean, Tien hit that 415 also, but the difference is Bishkov's opening at 320 in the bench, Tien 285. And they squat about in the same range. So, we're talking about 30, 35 kilos difference there. That is huge.
I mean, you're not going to make that up, and realistically, unless Bishkov makes some sort of fatal error, Tien's going to have a real job of it trying to peg him down.
Oh, no doubt, it's tough. But I mean, in the running here too, what you also have to watch out is, you got Sofiane Belkacem in there to want to try to take a shot at Tien. Tien's got to figure out, what do you do? He's just got to come in and make lifts. Sofiane is a professional here. He's going to do what he has to do. But Cody Giampa, even though he only got in the one, correct?
Correct, yes.
He got in the one squat at 382.5. He had to retake it on a second, then missed his third. Still stands in fourth with a shot to get on the medal stand if Sofiane Belkacem makes a mistake, or Tien from Chinese Taipei.
Yeah, look, and that's where Tien needs to be really mature as a lifter here, to not do anything crazy, just put your lifts on the board. You're probably not going to be able to put enough on there, even doing anything crazy to chase down Alexei from the Ukraine.
Well,
but if he does his job, he protects the silver, and who knows what's going to happen to Alexei.
Well, but it gets even a little crazier than that. We got Quentin Meyer from the USA, so right behind Giampa. Giampa's right now only ahead of his teammate on body weight, and then right behind them in sixth place, 2.5 kilos off, Victor Samuelson. And if you know anything about the guys from Iceland, they can pull for the win.
They do have a habit of having that weapon. But right now, Katsuo Tasaki from Japan, 207.5, and he absolutely smokes it.
Yes, that's good lift. 230 kgs on the bar record for Joachim Laxo, Sweden.
Laxo from Sweden, 230 goes on the bar.
So we probably will not see a bench press world record right now. It's 356.
Yeah, the world record's huge, 356.
Kevin
the world
Yeager.
junior, same.
Yeah.
The world masters, 312. Huge numbers on the bench.
I mean, Kevin Yeager is just such a superior athlete. If he can put everything together here in the three lift, he can win himself a three lift title. He's a great squatter, but he's got to get squats in. But he's a bench presser, obviously, world record holder at 356 now. Joachim Laxo, Sweden is up.
230 kilos. And he handles that very well. That was a good opening lift.
Very easy. I mean, it said that we're not going to see a world record in this. The only thing I could say I'd like to see with Bishkov is opening at 320, see where he goes in the next flight. But it's still going to be good. There's a tremendous amount of competition in the B group. Right here in the A group, you got these guys fighting. They're trying to, you very likely will have a medal or could have a medal here from bench press. Oftentimes, A group, their best lift is the bench.
Yeah, quite often they'll come in with the idea of, look, I'm not going to challenge for a gold medal overall, but I could challenge for a medal in the bench. But right now, Carlos Manuel Campos Murillo, Costa Rica, 250 kilograms, and you can see that shirt working. He gets the speed off the chest, but just sort of struggles with the midsection there. But it's a good lift. He gets it back to the top.
Yep, Manola did a great job there.
Soren Kazaku from Romania, 260 kilograms.
Offer for the championship shot, 2 for €40. Bar loaded. Kazaku, Romania. Seafield next lifter.
260 kilograms.
You know, and this is well within his capabilities. I mean, the last time he benched less than this in a meet was 2013 European bench press. So that'll give you an idea right here that this opener should go fairly well.
Yeah, well within striking range.
You know,
and it was pretty fast. I looked down at the screen for a second and looked up and I missed it.
We have a saying in the U.S. in baseball, and it's about you are the back of your baseball card. And right there he told us he hasn't done less than this since 2013, and he proved it right there.
Consistency all the way through competition and training. Christoph Seefeld from Germany, 267.5.
I mean, you can be the best, well, the strongest lifter in the world, but if you're not consistent, if you're not demonstrating that strength on the platform, it doesn't really mean anything. The most tragic thing I ever hear at a meet is, but I did way more than that in the gym.
Yeah, we hear that far too often. Right now, 267.5, well under his best lift. He did 285 this year. He's a little bit slow on that left-hand side, but doesn't pose any problem. Jack Johnson now 275.
Ball loaded, 1 minute. Johnson, great grip. Sarai, next lifter.
He should handle 275 without too much of a problem.
If Jackie sits down here, we'll come back and get a different picture.
Well, it's a bit tougher than what you'd want it to be. His opening squat was tough too. His opening bench just as tough.
You know, I almost think if another 5 kilos isn't going to help him get that down to.
He certainly doesn't seem too worried about having a bit of a laugh with his coach.
Because you actually have to, when you are benching this much weight, you actually have to pull it down to your chest. So it's not just dropping it down. It is a fight. The stronger your back can be, the more back work you do, the easier it is to get the bar to your chest. The quicker you can get it to the chest and preserve energy, obviously the easier it is to get it back up to the ceiling.
Shandraf Shurai from Mongolia, 3075.
And we stress that, the Mongolians are great in bench pressing. He's opening here at 3075. He finished with a 320 squat. So that's where we're saying that the Mongolians.
He's pushing his bench up to his squat PB.
He probably will. Well, let's see how this opener goes here. His head was up off the bench.
Yeah, let's see if the chief referee picked up on that one. We talked about that this morning.
There he goes.
Chief referee picked it up, but he has the two white lights. Side referees generally can't really see that, but they'll be watching out for that on the next one.
That's right, Chief Referee David Coimbra from Brazil. If you tuned into the 93 kilos, you saw him take a 371.5 deadlift attempt for a world record. He just got it out in front of him a little bit. So this is an interesting sport. We have him on Chief Referee. On the other side of the platform, we have Sung Soon Shi from Chinese Taipei, was just elected into the IPF Hall of Fame.
That's right.
That is the quality of referees that we put out here. These guys are not just great referees. They are great athletes and represent us well.
Katsuo Tasaki from Japan, 217.5. Just a little bit unstable on the bench there. Having to work that left-hand side. And 3 red lights.
That is the bar dip. If you watch on this replay, the whole length of the bar must dip to be called for the infraction. There it
You can
is.
certainly see that dip in the replay. Well picked up by the referees there. Alaxo from Sweden, 240 kilograms.
Joachim Alaxo. And I mean, he has just done really well for himself. In the last few years, he's had some great finishes. He won the 105 kilo class, the Arnold Sports Festival this year, Columbus, Ohio. Came in first in World Masters in 2017.
Now hitting the 120s.
He's a 3-time winner of the Arnold Sports Festival.
And that should be a good lift at 240.
Yes.
And it is. 262.5 goes on the bar for Murillo from Costa Rica.
You know, and Joachim keeps getting stronger and stronger and stronger. That was a really strong opening attempt for him. Second attempt at 240. He's going up to 245. His bench is going up, 2.5, 5 kilos every year for the last few years.
At this level, that's a really, really good progress.
Especially for a Masters lifter. He's an M1, which is 40 to 49 age group. Right now, Manolo Campos Murillo's up. You know, and again, you have a lifter that does not have an opportunity to score a total here. He's still going to come out and finish the meet.
Look out, come on.
Oh, he's struggling there and just can't get that locked out.
Sorry. No.
He's already coached 7 or 8 athletes during this week so far. It's tough.
Yeah, look, I mean, you watch these athletes on the platform, and a lot of these athletes are getting up on the platform. They've been coaching all week. They've had long days, trying to manage food, trying to manage fatigue, and then they get out and compete as well. I mean, that's just what they do for the sport.
Right, he's also the head of the Costa Rican Federation, so he's got other responsibilities, meeting with members of the board. He's also a Category 2 referee. He's been on the platform refereeing. So for him, sometimes it's like being a parent. You kind of have to put your goals aside and work for the good of the organization and everything else. But these are the balancing act that we all have to do here.
And Christoph Seefeld from Germany with 275 on the bar. Oh, wow, he absolutely handles that with no opposition. 3 white lights.
277.5 kg on the bar record for Sorin Kazaku, Romania.
And I like it here. We're seeing a lot of green up on the board here.
Yeah, it's certainly looking a lot cleaner than the squats. I hope it can stay that way. Sorin Kazaku from Romania, 2775.
So if you want to follow along at home and see what we're talking about, especially moving into the deadlift, but even here, just to follow the strategy that we're discussing, go to Goodlift website, put in Goodlift, go there, and then bring it up, and you can watch the raw score coming up as we're talking about it. Kind of helps you picture it a little bit in your head, so you have have it up on your smart TV, and then have the scoring up on your iPad, and you're ready to go.
Ooh, he got a little bit off balance at the bottom there. Yeah, I think he might get picked up on that bar dipping there. Let's see. Difficult to tell from here.
He got one.
But he gets 2 whites, and that's enough.
Take a look at this replay here and see what Gary was talking about with the bar.
Just gets off balance there. And getting off balance there means he's got to push unevenly,
Right.
making it very, very difficult, but he did manage it. Jack Johnson with 290, opened at 275, and it looked tough, but he walked off smiling and laughing, so going for the 290 now, maybe trying to work that shirt a little bit more.
So this is a PB. He just took a run right at it, opened at 275. PB's at 287.5, and he sits here at 290. It's a smart idea. Try to beat it right here by only 2.5 kilos. Get a little confidence going into the third.
It's just a little bit too much there. Just didn't really get the momentum off the chest. He got good speed for the first inch and a half, but just didn't get the momentum he needed.
Yeah, I mean, Jack had a very good result last year. He came here. It was his first opens, I believe. Went 332.5, 285, 317.5 for a 935 total. That's really good for a 19-year-old kid coming in here. Young man, now he's all of 20.
Yeah, it's certainly not a bad effort. Shure from Mongolia, 315 kilograms.
Sorry, his first Worlds was 2016. He was really young. World Classics.
He's just working on getting his balance there. A little bit all over the place. He gets it to the lockout. His head was up a little bit again too. And they've got to pin him on the head now.
They got the head.
So that is 2 red lights, no lift. And that tends to be what happens. You come out of the first lift, you get picked up by one referee. Come out for the second lift, everyone's watching now.
Oh, no doubt. So I do that as a referee. I'm sitting there. If I see the head up, if I see somebody else signal for something, I'd look for it next time.
Yeah, so everyone's taking a closer look. Right now, Katsuo Tasaki from Japan, 217.5 for his third. Missed it on his second. Always love how the crowd just sort of goes silent.
It's amazing.
Once they take their bar.
I went silent with him right there. It's just the silence is really deafening here.
It's quite contagious. Yeah, that looks a lot better that time round.
Yes.
And it is. Got a really nice curve on the bar for that one. Luxo from Sweden, 245.
And, you know, you got some good coaching there. Opens at 230, smashed it. 240, smashed it. Now 245.
Campos Morelio, next lifter.
And here he goes. 245 is on the bar. These are big, big bench presses. He has a really, really close foot position.
It's funny. It's exactly what I was thinking.
You don't often see that in the heavyweights.
No, you generally see it in the lighter weights, and especially a lot of the female lifters do it.
And he gets one on the board. Yeah, we often see the heavyweights with a bit of wider foot position. Try and help with that stability on the bench.
There's what Gary's talking about. Now, a lot of the Swedes, more than any other country, do that with the feet together like that. There's a few Norwegians that do it also, but you'll see it more among the Swedes.
Murillo from Costa Rica, 262.5.
I mean, Manola didn't score a total there in the squat. You can see the 0 above the 250. He's trying to get this 262.5 in, but he's really come here to medal in the deadlift. But he wants to get some confidence going here. He needs to hit this. Well, how do you feel for the
Yeah, look, it makes it hard confidence-wise, and it also takes a lot of energy. Missed lifts, you really start to burn you out. And Kenny gets a lock on this one.
I'd take it from
No,
him.
he doesn't
Yeah.
look like he can.
Wow.
So that's going to hurt confidence-wise, but it's going to take his energy as well.
Yeah,
having to fight like that through across the board.
Now, we say that, but he's laughing coming off the platform.
He
So
doesn't seem too concerned.
I think he's like, all right, let's get. He wants that medal. He wants to be on the medal stand. He's opening at 340 in the deadlift. He can pull it. No doubt he can pull that.
Soren Kazaku from Romania, 282.5.
Before it's time out to change some glue. There's the second flight.
Gets that chest up as high as he can, and you can see just how tightly he's squeezing that bar. Gets a really good line to the chest. Can he get it to the top? He gets to the top. Let's see what the referees think of that one.
Yes,
That's
a
a
good
good
lift.
lift.
285 kgs on the bar record for Christoph Seefeld, Germany.
Christoph Seefeld, 285 goes on.
Seefeld, Germany, timeout for second flight for chasing the openers.
He was good at 267.5. He was good at 275. Throwing an extra 10 on there.
This will tie his PB that he set at the German championships.
It's good speed, but it just gets away from him there. Exactly what Chrissy was talking about with us this morning. Just rolling those wrists back, those elbows not being under the bar.
Yeah, and I think you could see it here. See where his hand position is. The bar is over his forearm, and then it twists back a little bit. See how much farther back it is?
Yeah,
than when he took the bar
once
down.
it goes out from under the bar. Jack Johnson, 290. Got a good 275. I had to work pretty hard for it. 290 on his second was just a little bit too tough. Let's see what adjustments they've made for the third.
You know, the scary thing for the rest of this class, Jack is only 20, and he's only been in this sport for a little over 2 years.
And a bit too tough. And yeah, look, we always talk about how long your career is in powerlifting. In powerlifting age standards, Jack is still a baby.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. And, we saw Kelsey McCarthy the other day win the gold medal. She's only been in the sport for just about 4 years. So there are some people that are just that strong
it happens.
and that driven.
We saw a gold medal last night from Ukraine, a junior lifter who won the junior championship.
22
it certainly
years old.
happens, but at 20 years of age in this sport, you are still so young.
Right. It's hard to look at other people and say, well, they're 20 or 21 or 22 or 25, and I should be doing what they're doing.
Yeah,
It's
it doesn't
tough.
always happen.
And you can keep getting better and better. We were talking about Joachim Laxo. He keeps getting better year upon year upon year, and he's a master's lifter.
Shurai from Mongolia, 315.
Wow.
Well, that's out a massive
That is
groan.
muscled up.
And he gets it there. 2 white lights. 3:15, and we move straight into the second flight. 2:67.5 goes on the bar for Thomas Sarek for Czechia.
1 minute. Sorry. Fall. Next lifter.
So his personal best right now is 275. So he's opening up close to it. You know, and again, this is an athlete who's been getting better and better and better. He used to finish 8th, 9th. 2016, he finished 5th. Last year, finished 2nd in Pilsen with us calling that beautiful silver medal performance. Wow.
That was a tough opening lift, and you just can't quite get it moving properly.
No lift. 270 kgs.
Let's see what adjustments they make for his second attempt. Right now, Dominic Paul from Germany, 270.
Bar loaded, 1 minute. For Germany.
See, when you're a lifter, when you're a lifter like Sarek, you have to come in and make lifts. That's the way you do it. Sofiane Belsier is in the same situation, right? You want to come in and make lifts, make lifts, and hope to move up a little bit. Then we've got a whole group that are right outside of that top 3 that can change the result of this and mix it all up.
Right now, Dominic from Germany, 270. Gets the touch. A very, very smooth lift at 270.
Lift.
3 white lights.
He did 290 last year in this event. So he squatted about the same, 382 this year as opposed to 380 last year. You know, he's within range of going that 290, and he'll probably deadlift about the same. So
yeah, look, I think it's important for the younger lifters and the people that are really new to powerlifting to understand that, you know what, in your early couple of years when you first start, you make lots and lots of gains, and you think it's fantastic. Then you're going to come to a point where if you're managing to get a couple of kilos over a 6-month period or even a 12-month period, you're doing really well.
Now this is a guy, again, talk about guys every year making gains. And it's funny, the guys that make a lot of lifts, the way Sofiane does, seem to keep their totals going up every year.
It's all about making lifts. Here we go, 275, and that was super fast.
Now, talk about guys making gains.
That's a good lift.
That was quick.
He finished with 275 in this last year, finishing 6th. He smoked the same weight right there.
Yeah, that's certainly a big work.
Yep, and at the EPFs a short time ago, he just did 277.5. He's going to make some noise. Let me tell you, this kid's going to keep getting better and better every year. If Bishkov doesn't keep improving, I'm telling you right now, Sofiane will catch him. That kid is an animal. Wait till you see him deadlift.
He's coming after him. Chen, Chinese Taipei, 280 kilograms is on the bar.
And this kid had a massive 415 kilo squat to match our leader, Bishkov.
And that was a very, very nice looking lift.
That's a good lift. 295 on the bar. Record for Quinton Mayer, USA.
Quinton Mayer, USA, 295.
I don't know where Chinese Taipei is coming up with all these younger, and I say younger because he's not young, but he is certainly a younger lifter in Chen.
All right, here comes Quinton. 295 kilograms on the bar.
And he is a strong bench presser.
And very, very smooth,
Very good.
295.
There are 2 world champions sitting side by side.
Yeah, watching the action. Victor Samuelson, Iceland, 300 kilograms. well under his personal best. Got plenty of room to move there, so should manage 300 without any major issues.
I mean, he's done 315. However, it was 2 years ago. So let's see what happens. You know, we don't know if he's been beaten up. I don't really know Victor very well to know. But
307.5 European Championships this year is the best he's done this year.
Yep.
315 last year, so well, we're about to find out. Yeah, 315 was a tough opening lift. Might have been a little bit too tough.
Yeah, that number just worried me a little bit. Looking at his results.
Always good to be conservative.
All right, hopefully these nerves are out of here for Cody Jampa, opening with a massive 300-kilo bench press. That's a heck of an opener for a guy the first time on the World Open Championship stage.
You know, and we saw in his squats just sort of how that first-time nerves affected him.
Yep.
You know, numbers that he probably should have gotten. You know, and had it been a local competition or even a national competition, probably would have handled them well.
I mean, looking at this, I mean, the best he's ever done in a comp was 380. He got 382 today. I mean, I think he could have done much better had he had the nerves a little more under control.
Yeah, look, I think the first time you compete in an international event where you've got to travel, you've got jet lag, you've got different food, and he certainly got the nerves out of the system.
Wow,
now.
that was quick.
Looking a lot better.
Quick off his chest.
Yeah, I mean, people tend to forget there's so much involved in managing your performance when you've got to travel between countries.
Here he comes. Alexei Bishkov.
So right now, Ivan Gorbachev, Russia, 302.5. Giving some really good instructions to the spotter there of what he wants. When you've got 302 kilos in your hand, you really want to make sure they let it go in just the right spot.
No doubt. I mean, he's coming in here. He wants to try to medal in this event. He's not going to determine in the final results. He's not going to really affect them high up. But he can come in here and medal in the bench press if he does what he needs to do.
And if he keeps doing that, he's got a very good chance of it.
Yes, that's a good lift. 320 kgs on the bar. Record for, let's say.
Now, right now, as we told you before, that we can have oftentimes, you can have a medal. You have medals come out of A group because a lot of times the A group are benchers, and that's what gets them here.
Look, we've got a really big bench in the A group already at 315. It might be enough to get it on the podium.
Shirai stands in here 315 with the gold medal right now, and Bishkov's coming up here now. Obviously, Bishkov, he makes this, moves in the gold medal position, but who's in the silver position? Shirai from Mongolia.
Well, here comes 320 for Alexei. He benches like he squats. Body shakes a bit, but it certainly doesn't faze him in any way whatsoever.
You know, and I've talked to some doctors about why that happens, and it's just nervous system. They will never totally be able to get rid of that shake. It's not muscular strength.
And you'll watch some people when they deadlift, same thing happens, and it's not a strength issue at all. Thomas Sarek, Czechia, 272.5 for his second.
And he went up. We were talking about, I'd mentioned that it looked like he wasn't real solid and couldn't get down. They went from 267.5 to 272.5. Hopefully this 5 kilos will help him get it down, save some energy. And there you go. All right.
Made the difference. That looked very, very good.
275 kgs on the bar record for Dominic Paul, Germany.
Dominic Powell from Germany with 275 now.
1 minute, Paul, Germany. Belgisir, next lifter.
A little bit under his personal best. So got a little bit of room to move. He had to fight, but he gets it to the top.
It's a good push.
275 is on the board.
But he really was forced to press that out, Gary. Watch, the bar doesn't glide the lockout. He really has to push it and muscle it up. Muscle. See, the bar's not gliding. Push. Now, you want to see somebody glide the lockout? Sofiane Belsier, France, coming up right here, 280 kilos. You want to see a guy bring it down and then let it glide the lockout? Watch Sofiane.
280 kilograms.
And I've said it before, he's one of my favorite lifters. Part of the reason is he keeps getting better every year. He makes lifts, and his form in all 3 disciplines is spot on for him.
And made that look easy.
Now at home, could you see what I was talking about? Watch on this replay how the bar glides to lockout. He's not forced to press it out.
All the way through.
Just glides to lockout. You're almost throwing it up and catching it at the end.
Ji Zhen Chen, Chinese Taipei, 287.5.
And this kid, I'm telling you, he's got some strength, doesn't he?
Yeah, we are going to see him.
He's 24,
for years to come.
24 years old.
So very young for powerlifting.
The 2 best,
particularly in this weight class. I mean, in this weight class, you're not going to reach your best for a long time yet. Oh, look at that. If he's lifting like this now, what are we going to see from him in 5 years?
I mean, we hope that that's true. We've seen some other junior lifters come in here, and we say, where the heck are they going to go? If you don't keep working at this sport will humble you.
That's right. It's not going to happen on its own. You've got to work hard for it, but in 5 years' time, if he keeps the work rate up, keeps competing, his numbers could be outstanding. Victor Samuelsson from Iceland, 300 kilograms on the bar.
Now, Victor was one of the athletes that I was talking about. Having a shot to be able to pull to get in the medal position. Problem is, he's not making enough lifts right now. He's not safe to even record a total. He's got to get this in here and then try to use his deadlift later. But to use the deadlift, you've got to have a bench press. You've got to have a squat to be able to record a total and try to move on to the medal stand for Victor Samuelsson.
So he's got to get on the board now. 300. We've seen this all too many times today and over the last few days.
Come on, up, look out.
Wasn't clean, but he gets to the top. It should be a good lift, and it is 2-1. Doesn't have to be pretty, just has to get the lights. Quinton Meyer, US of A, 302.5.
Q is one of these lifters that if he puts it all together or when he puts it all together, he's going to be tough to beat. Because he's strong in all 3 disciplines, and you can look at the way he's built. He can take the pounding of the training that some of the other guys can't take.
Yeah, look, and that is one of the hard things with powerlifting. You know, the training does beat you up a little bit. And that's why in powerlifting we really talk about the long game and the long plan. And it's just a little bit too much for him. Few little adjustments though, and he'll be back out.
There we are.
Cody Gumper from the US of A, 3:07.5.
Followed in 1 minute, Yampa USA. Chef, next lifter.
A teacher of English. You'd really want to make sure you did your homework.
No kidding. Let's see right here if Cody's done his homework for the last 12 months waiting to come here.
307.5 kilograms on the bar, 677 pound.
I mean, he's made massive improvement. He's put on 80 kilos on his total in the last year and a half.
That is absolutely huge.
Yep. Now, when you're that age, 27, it's a lot easier to do. He's just starting out, really.
Touched very low.
His
there.
head is up. That shirt is causing problems for him. So he makes that.
That was tough. He touched
He
very low.
will get a yellow card from the chief, I would figure. Yep,
He gets
and
two.
the side
rest picked it up as well.
310 kgs on the bar record for Ivan Goryachev, Russia.
Ivan Gorbachev from Russia, 310.
Bishko, next lifter.
310 goes on the bar for Ivan.
I mean, this is a nice size jump right here. 7.5 kilos.
Yeah, 7.5 kilos is quite a reasonable jump. First to second, particularly at this weight.
Well, and again, you got a guy he's got a good, very good squat, 392.5. Can bench 310, 315.
And he gets it back to the top, and it looks like a good choice.
What's always going
Not
to
a whole lot left there.
What's holding him back here right now is he opens almost 60 kilos less in the deadlift than the others. So if he can ever even that out a little bit, and somebody makes a mistake, he can get up on the medal stand. But with a deadlift that's that much lighter than everybody else, it's hard to do. If I had to pick between having a strong bench or having a strong deadlift, I'd like to have a really, really amazing deadlift and just build my bench press strength over years.
Well, the deadlift is where you can make up some ground. Bench press doesn't usually provide the opportunity to make up a whole lot of ground. But right now, Alexei Bishkov from the Ukraine, 330 kilograms.
Yeah, generally to be able to pull for the not generally to be able to pull for the win, you have to be one of the last 4 or 5 deadlifters in that group pulling to be able to pull for the win.
Yeah, look, and that's the problem. You might have a great bench and a great squat, but if you've got to pull down the pack,
wow,
handles 330.
Wow.
Yeah, if you've got to pull down the pack, then everyone else gets the opportunity to change their last lift to beat you. Thomas Sarek, Czechia, 280 for his third.
Followed in 1 minute, Sarek.
So it's kind of like, just for one of my analogies, that so if you've got a great squat and you got a great bench press, right, and you pulled, it's kind of like you're out hunting, right? You bag a nice trophy, you're now in first place. It's almost like they put you up against the wall, everybody else gets to shoot at you, trying to take the buck that you just took down. So it's a hard thing. You would rather be in a position where you're the one taking the final shot instead of being shot at.
Well, look, I hope everyone at home watching this understood that analogy, because the entire media team is now staring at us with some very odd looks on their face. Please, everyone stare at Elliot, not me. Thomas Sarek, 280. And that right arm just causing a little bit of trouble for him, but it should be a good lift, and it is. Sofiane from France, 282.5.
Here he comes, the man that I'm saying one day will win this class, Sofiane Belsier, coming out 282.5.
Well, I'll tell you what, his predicted total numbers certainly suggest that one day, and not that far away, he's going to walk away as the world champion.
Yep. I mean, even Tien's way ahead of him at this point, but Sofiane can pull big. If I got to trust him to pull for the silver, Tien might as well just wave by to it. Like I was just saying, you'd rather be the guy who can take the last shot. Belsier can take that last shot right here. He's up 282.5.
Oh, just struggling a bit with that right hand. The wrist starting to roll. With that sort of weight, once the wrist rolls, you are not going to bring it back. Chai Sen Chen, Chinese Taipei, 292.5.
Followed in 1 minute, Chen, Chinese Taipei.
292.5.
And I mean, this is well over the best he's ever done. Last year's World Juniors, he did 260 kilos. So you're talking, you're going to see these jumps in young lifters.
Yeah, look, he's got a 290 listed on his profile as a personal best. I don't really know where and when that was. We haven't really got any data. Could have been a local competition.
Could be their nationals. We don't know. But, you know, at this time last year, let's just say this time last year internationally, he was at 260. This is just
a big,
massive.
Big jump.
And the kid's just growing.
And it didn't seem to bother him, 292.5. That is a lot to add to your bench in a year.
It is a lot. And the scary thing, he can probably add 3 to 4 kilos to his body of muscle going on. He is light at 118 kilos.
Yeah, he's got room to move. Quentin Meyer, US of A, 302.5.
I mean, Quentin Meyer is going to be one of the ones to go over 1,000. It's just, looking at these numbers is just crazy. I mean, Quentin is not having a great day today. Hopefully he'll nail this here.
Yeah, look, if he can get this one on the board, it's going to build his confidence going into the deadlift.
Yeah. I mean, he wants that 1,000. You know he wants it.
It's one of those magical numbers, isn't it? He's having to work for it. Oh, he's giving it everything he's got. I think the bar might have dipped.
Well, we got to watch for the bar or the butt.
Yes.
And
he gets it on the board too. White lights. He had to work hard for that. Victor Samuelsson, Iceland, 3075.
Followed in 1 minute, Samuelsson, Iceland. The Giampa, next lifter.
You know, and Victor's one that can make noise. You were talking about if you're going to have a pull, you want someone pulling. You want an Icelander pulling to get onto the medal stand right now. This 307.5.
They've got a really big history of deadlifting. Working it down, gets a good press call.
Come on, look out.
Gets it
Looks
back
solid.
to the top, and
Very
it looks
solid.
pretty good from where we're sitting. And it is 3 white lights. And now Cody from the US of A, 307.5, missed on his second.
Now, Cody hits this. He jumps ahead of Victor based on projected, based on deadlift openers.
And that's where you want to be. You want to be putting yourself in a really good position, because this lift also keeps him in striking range on predicted totals. It keeps him in striking range of Sofier as well.
I mean, what more can you ask than for 8 lifters to be in the medal hunt?
Yeah, it certainly makes for a very, very good competition.
I mean, the depth of this world championship has just been amazing to me. There are some classes, very few, that somebody dominates.
Oh, we had
Wow.
a shirt tear there.
Yes, it did.
You don't see that very often.
Wow, let's watch that again.
You don't often see that.
Wow. Sleeve just came off of that.
And I'll tell you what, the spotters were quick to grab the bottom of that.
Yes, they
And
were.
they stopped the big impact on the chest.
You know, and these Alico racks are absolutely awesome. They have, if you watch on this last 2 bench presses, you'll see the safeties on the sides. It'll keep the
So
athletes from
when the
getting
guys
injured.
come in for weigh-ins, they set up their rack heights and their safety heights, and they're checked.
Now they're going to protect the neck and the face in that area, but the spotters and loaders still have a huge responsibility.
Very much. So the spotters and loaders there doing a very good job. Ivan Gorchev from Russia, 315. He's having to work. It's going back
Oh
though.
man, that is going to hurt him for placing.
That is going to hurt a lot. And I do believe, if I remember rightly, in Pilsen last year, we were commentating together and we saw an equipment failure on the squat. Doesn't happen very often.
Yeah. Not only did we see an equipment failure on the squat, the bottom of the squat suit blew out, and they ran. It was a Ukrainian. The Ukrainian coach went running 800 miles an hour past us into the warm-up room, grabbed another squat suit, threw it on him, and he hit the squat.
You've always got to carry a spare squat suit, I think. Alexei Lichkov from Ukraine, 340 kilograms to close out this bench press session.
I mean, Bishkov has just been as advertised. Dominant in the squat with 415.
Yeah, dominating in the bench. Oh, that one's just a little bit too much, though. And I do believe that Shirai from Mongolia gets the silver in the bench press coming out of the first group.
You know, and he was silver after first attempts, and he stayed silver all the way through thirds.
Stayed through all the way through. So don't go too far away, because the deadlifts, the real action is about to begin in 10 minutes' time. We are going to see some absolutely massive pulls. We've got like 6, 7 positions all jostling for the medals. So don't go too far away. We'll be right back. welcome back to Hampstead, Sweden for the IPF World Open Powerlifting Championships 2018, and we are just about to get the deadlift underway in the 120 kilo class, and the numbers just keep piling on, and it's not going to be any different in the deadlift. A big shout out to our sponsors, Alico, of course, who just continue to raise the bar. Absolutely the finest strength equipment on the planet. Uplift, of course, one of the greatest online coaching platforms on the planet. You will only find the best coaches there, and it is one heck of a selection process to be able to coach on the Uplift platform. So download the app and find your coach to take your powerlifting career to the next chapter. And SBD, of course, squat, bench, dead, the best powerlifting equipment on the planet, and I can speak from experience. I have used a lot of their equipment, and it is absolutely fantastic. Nothing compares to a set of SBD knee sleeves. And we are 40 seconds away from getting underway, and the prognosis at the moment, Alexei from the Ukraine has a predicted total of 1,095 if he just hits his opener, and that puts him well ahead of Chen on 1,037.5. But coming up through the ranks, everyone's jostling for that third position there. Right at the moment, sitting on 1,012 as a predicted total. Sofier from France, but he has got his work cut out for him protecting and holding on to that bronze medal, because everyone, the next 5 or 6 positions, are all in striking range, so he has to be very careful not to make any mistakes at all. And we are underway with Soren Kazaku from Romania with 240 on the bar. And just remember, we have 2 flights running here, so we'll get through the first flight and then move straight into the second flight for the action to unfold. And has no problems with 240, just catches it a little bit on his quads there, but pulls it straight over the top, and 3 white lights. And all that echoing noise you can hear there is just our good friend Elliot Bulldog Feldman struggling once again with the microphone.
I don't know, I'm not used to this talking thing, so I got to kind of square that away.
Shirai from Mongolia, 240, and we just saw him come out of the first group and get himself on the podium in the bench press. And 240 looks like a nice warm-up lift for him.
You know what, it's funny. You know, I joke about that, but as a kid, I didn't talk until I was about 7, 8 years old. One day we're sitting at the dinner table with my mom and starting to eat. Hadn't said a word. Turned to her and said, "Soup's cold." And she said, "What?" I said, "Soup's cold." She goes, "You wait 8 years to talk, and the first thing you say is soup's cold?" No, till now, everything's been okay.
So we waited 8 years. He said the soup's cold, and he hasn't stopped talking ever since.
Exactly.
Tasaki from Japan with 265 on the bar. And this shouldn't be a difficult opener for him at all. And there it is.
That is awesome.
3 white lights.
He has just looked tired all day, like really fatigued, as if he's having trouble moving around. When he got under the squat, he looked tired. He looks tired after he puts his deadlift down and walks.
Yeah, look, it's... We talk about all the time how difficult it is to manage international events. You know, with all your travel and, you know, you've got to suddenly sleep in a different bed with a different pillow. Different foods. You know, and, you know, you can manage that a dozen times perfectly, and sometimes you go to a competition and it just takes its toll a little bit more. Right now, Luxa from Sweden, 280 kilograms, moving at 280 kilometers per hour.
What was the problem? Soup's cold?
The soup's cold. Christoph Seefeld from Germany, 290 kilograms.
1 minute, Seafeld, Germany. Johnson, next lifter.
290 on the bar.
Let's see if this butcher from Germany can make quick work of this opening deadlift.
Well, he certainly has the right job title to make sure he has plenty of protein. And 290.
Beautiful.
Moves very well.
Second lift, 295 on the bar. Lifter deck, Johnson, Great Britain.
There he is, known as Young Jack.
Jack Johnson from Great Britain. 295. And this shouldn't pose too much of a problem.
Now, this is well within his capabilities. His best is 340.
And makes short work of 295.
Waiting for the third light. I think it's a good lift. But
It
let's
shouldn't
see.
be a problem.
Good
It
lift,
is. Three white lights.
340.
Soren Kazaku from Romania, 250 kilograms for his second lift.
On the bar.
Those spotters and loaders are working hard and they are flying through this.
Bar loading, 1. No, was that right? 340. 340 on the bar.
No, we just had a little bit of a technical error there. 340 goes on the bar for Murillo from Costa Rica.
Wrong information.
You know, we had a silver medal in the bench press come out of
Costa Rica.
the A group.
And could we have a medal in the deadlift come from the A group as well?
I mean, Manolo can pull this.
Come on, look out.
He's at the top.
Yeah, I don't know about that, though. Let's see. 3 whites. There we go.
He has a 3 lights. A bit shaky, but he got it there.
You know, the biggest thing that I see, the biggest mistake that I see Manolo making is he opens too heavy. It's not his strength. That right there is 340, as tough as an opener. As a second attempt, that 340 would be great for him. I'd almost rather see him go 327.5, 340, and then wind up with a 350 or 352.5. But we'll sit here and watch that and see what goes
Yeah, look,
on.
we'll see where it goes. Sometimes, you know, we do often see guys open a bit too heavy. They hit their first one, it's tough. They miss their second and third and don't make any progress from their original totals. But right now, Soren Kazaku from Romania, 250 kilograms. The guy's just giving the platform a quick clean down. You'll see the guys covered in white powder as they come out. That's talcum powder to help the bar slide up a little bit. So the guys will give the platform a clean every now and then to make sure there's plenty of space for traction and they're not slipping on anything. And there it is, 250. And you'll see in these heavier weight classes, you start to see a few more guys doing conventional lifting now. As we get up into the heavier weight classes, conventional starts to find its way back in again.
Now, when you're coaching athletes, how do you generally get them to pull? Do you want to see conventional,
Look,
sumo?
I tend to start most of my athletes on conventional. And then from there, we determine whether or not that's really the best thing for them. I've moved a few athletes in the past to sumo lifts, in some cases simply because their backs just aren't really suitable, or they might have a small back problem or back niggle. What we tend to find is the sumo takes the pressure off the lower back a little more than what conventional does.
Right, and I agree.
Tasaki from Japan, 275.
Even though I'm a sumo puller, I like to work conventional. I think it works more pure strength in the back.
Yeah, I mean, it really is led by that back.
And when I do rack pulls, or I have any of my charges do rack pulls, I always have them do conventional. I think there's so little carryover trying to do sumo rack pulls.
Yeah, look, I don't think it's going to be a huge help with sumo rack pull. Conventional, and there's a lot of carryover into the sumo lift. 275 on the bar. He's certainly looking like he's running out of energy. Ooh, that knee didn't quite look tight, but he gets it on the
There you go.
board.
Beautiful.
Yeah, you're right. You saw it before. He's just starting to look tired the whole way through.
Tired, man. All right, Joachim Laxo is up.
295 on the bar.
Ballard 1 minute, Laxo, Sweden. Seafood, Nestlé.
You know, we're using here for our numbers, we're using here allpowerlifting.com. Petro Pete, owner, and he just puts it up. He's not really trying to make any money off it. He just loves it. I just clicked on Joachim's profile picture that they have in there. It's from the Arnold Sports Festival from a few years ago, and I was his chief referee. So,
and there it is again, 295. And it really is a great source of information.
Oh, yeah.
You know, we get information on past competitions, with the records in there. Does a fantastic job, and a really, really nice guy. Just absolutely loves powerlifting.
Yep. And if you want to check out allpowerlifting.com. It'll have all of your international comps in there, which include international qualifiers. You can add videos to any of your lifts. You've got a German record. You've got a world record. You can click on it, add the video of it if you want.
Christoph Seefeld from Germany, 300 kilograms is on the bar.
Man, it's just that easy.
Jack Johnson, Great Britain, 320 goes on the bar now.
Young Jack coming out. Last year I sat in your position, Gary, we added Young Jack for color. He did a really good job. I let him through it, and remarkable for someone who's been in the sport as short a time as he has. He has a tremendous amount of knowledge about the sport and about the history of the sport. So it bodes well for his development as a lifter that at 19 years of age, he knew about people who'd lifted 20 and 30 years ago.
Yeah, it just shows the love of the sport. Oh, he's having to work hard. Can he squeeze it to the top? He gets there.
Let's see if they give it to him.
Did he get those hips through?
Yes.
There he goes.
2-1. That's good.
You know, and again, 2-1, borderline lift. You're going to get a borderline call either way.
Morello with 350 now.
Now, again, I said I'd rather see him go a little tiny bit lighter.
His opening lift looked really tough.
Yeah, I would rather have seen 325 opener, 340, and then maybe go 47.5, 50, 52, depending on how that second one felt. Let's see here with 350. And again, it's the only thing with I disagree with Manolo's lifting. His technique is good. Everything is good. I think he opens too heavy, and it doesn't give you much of a place to go. I'd like to see people open.
Yeah, look, I
later
always
take a big jump.
I always like to see athletes open with some room to move. You know, and I say to guys, you know, it's great that you can bench 150 raw, but if you open at 150, where are you going to go from there?
Well, also, if you open light and something happens, whatever, your shirt's not right, your knee wrap comes undone, well, then you can go up another 5 kilos, 7 kilos to try to pick some of that weight back up. If you're opening on something that's a struggle to make, you can't go up and try to pick up something from that miss.
And look at that, 350 was just a bit too tough.
So he's probably going to finish at 340. Had he opened at 325, then gone 340, 347 and a half or 350 was probably in the cards for him.
And the thing with deadlift too is it's not like the bench press where you can get out the back, make some adjustments to the sleeves and the shirt, and all of a sudden come back out and smoke it. In a deadlift, there's really nothing you can do to make any little adjustments. Soren Kazaku for his third attempt at 262 and a half.
And again, I want to give you an idea of where the world record is in this. These guys, he's coming out here. Soren's coming out 262 and a half. The world record in this weight class is where are we now? A second. Is 420. I was going to have to say 420. I wanted to make sure it wasn't 410. 420 by Krzysztof Wierzbicki. Hit it at the World Games in Poland.
Gets it to the top.
So think about that for a minute. He's at 262 and a half, lifting at the World Championships. The world record is 420 by Wierzbicki. Now,
and that was a huge lift there. The crowd were crazy at that one.
Guys, if you have not seen that lift, you should go and find it, Google it.
Yeah, it was one incredible moment in sport.
Now, realize this is the 120-kilo class. He weighed, Wierzbicki weighed, I don't know, about 105.6
right
when he set that record.
At the bottom of the 120s. Most guys that are weighing 105.6 are cutting down to the 105s for competition.
He wanted to win the heavyweight championship. That's why he weighed over, so he'd get into the heavyweights. Get into the supers.
From Mongolia at 265.
Wow.
And that was a good third lift. There wasn't a whole lot more. You could see him just sort of start to stagger through the middle. Probably only a few more kilos in there.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough for him right here.
287.5 goes on the bar for Katsuya Tasaki from Japan.
Yeah, and the highest opener is Bishkov, who's won world championships, who wins this pretty much every year. He's got to come in as the favorite. He is opening 70 kilos below the world record. So that'll just give you an idea of how amazing. Every once in a while, there's a performance in this sport that just makes your heart stop.
Yeah, look,
and that was one.
And when that happens, you know, we see those records. And we see lots of world records fall all the time. And here we've seen so many. But there's some records that just hang around for a while because they were just such a big lift.
Yeah, and
that's going to be one that's tough to beat.
Yeah, and Katsuo has been consistent today. You know, he went 265, 275, now going 287 and a half. They've made very good calls on him.
Yeah, look, this is last list, and yeah, look, he's tired. I think he's happy he's at the end.
I mean, he's making lifts, but he just looks beat up and tired.
Luxo from Sweden, 305 on the bar.
You know, one of the biggest problems that the Japanese athletes have is food. Because, you know, me being from North America, I can come here and still get stuff that's, you know, normally what I eat. The Japanese are forced to bring a lot of food with them.
Yeah.
Or try to find someplace close.
It is. The food here is very different. I mean, I'm quite lucky. I live in Belarus. I come to Sweden. There's a lot of foods here that we have at home. So I quite enjoy the salami for breakfast and the pickled cucumbers, just like being home. But for coming from Japan, it's a huge change in diet.
Correct.
This is one man that hasn't had to worry about that. Luxo from Sweden, 305. Ah, that was a great lift.
There you go. Cheer from the crowd.
Very, very good closing lift for him. Just thanking all the referees there. Christoph Seefeld from Germany, 310.
This will tie his PB that he set at the German National Championships earlier this year. February.
Seefeld, Germany. Johnson, next lifter.
Yeah. Did he just yell out easy at the top?
Easy. I hope he gets all whites.
Well, he gets 2. That's good enough.
I guess it was just ease.
Just left the E off at the end there. But Jack Johnson now for a whopping 330 kilograms. $330 getting loaded on the bar. Now you'll notice it takes a little bit longer between the lifts in the third round of deadlifts. That's because the guys have to clean the bar after each lift.
And this is under his best. He set at the EPFs in May.
So 330. What did he lift in the EPFs?
340.
340. So
just underneath.
So 330 should be quite manageable. You know, and we've seen him today. You know, at some points he's looked good, some points it's been tough. He's a bit tired and worn out, and he's only a very, very young lifter.
Well, you hope you don't see wasted talent here. I mean, you get young Jack. He's got everything going for him. I wonder if he's just passing here and leaving time in.
Yeah, look, and I think this is a bit of maturity here. I think he's a bit run down. Looks like he's timing out. Just hasn't quite got the energy left. You know, 330 is not going to put him on the podium. You know, why risk injury or a long-term?
Look at that. You know what? Everybody loves the camera, don't they? Except the ugly and the guilty.
Time. 350 kgs on the bar. Lifter Carlos Manuel.
All righty.
Costa Rica.
Manolo's come here. He wants to medal in the deadlift. That 340 may be enough, but judging by the openers, we got Belkacir opening at 340.
340 might be enough to slide in if someone doesn't get another lift.
He needs,
but he really needs a 350 to give him a better opportunity to get on the podium.
Come on, Carlos.
350 kg on the bar, 771 pound. And it's just a bit too much.
Yeah, and I think he would have wound up with 350, 352 there if he'd gone 327.
Well, it just
340.
allows your nervous system to adapt to the weight. And opening up really heavy like that just doesn't give the nervous system the opportunity, and it really burns it out. Ivan Gorbachev from Russia, 285.
Now, just to give you an idea, he just finished at 350. Beef light lifters opening at 285. So that'll give you an idea of the strength of Manolo Campos Murillo. But he's got to show it on the platform. And he's kind of an example of somebody who could be a great lifter, who could come in here and make noise and should wind up on the medal stand every year. But he's got to correct it. I mean, we saw it earlier in the week with David Coimbra, who is finally in the last couple of years really put it together. He had a good year in 2014, now come back. He is going to be on that medal stand every year. Hopefully, we will see that with Manolo. Right now, we got Ivan Gorbachev up.
285 on the bar. And make short work of 285.
So we have a pack right here of guys looking at projections. Obviously, we got Baishkov and Chen are battling it out. Bychkov now, after openers, is projected at 1095. You got to make that. Bychkov makes his Bychkov makes his opener. He pretty much has it. Tien is in there at 1,030. Right behind him, though, we got Sofiane Belsier.
Yeah, look, he is really sneaking up behind there, isn't he? He's got the 1,027 predicted total. And he's just hanging around there thinking, you know what? I can sneak in here.
If I had to put money down, there you go. That's
Well,
awesome by Paul opener.
Second lift, 305
So then we also have, so right below them, we have at 995 here, Victor Samuelson coming up. Right behind him, 992.5s, we have Quentin Meyer and Thomas Sarek. And right behind them, we have Cody Giampa at 990. When I say these guys are packed in here, they are packed in here, and it will come down the last poll. There will be changes. If guys miss, some guys will go up, some guys will go down. Victor Samuelson now 305.
Yeah, it looks like it should be a good lift.
You know,
And there it is, 3 white lights.
so what we've seen is real consistency, and it hasn't been tremendously exciting here for the B flight and the B group, and the reason is because they're making their attempts. Nobody's left the door open. Nothing bad's happened. We lost Christensen from Denmark, but everybody else is pretty much doing what they have to do here. The 2 young Americans would like to have some of their lifts back to be up higher, but right now you still have Thomas Sarek, who came in silver medal. He still could come out with a silver medal right now. Here's Giampa at 307.5, the first of those guys that are clumped into that mix for the bronze medal.
Yeah, look, these guys are going to be fighting around that last lift to move in places. We're going to see all sorts of changes in that last lift.
Yeah, I mean, so they're fighting, battling. They're in fifth, sixth, seventh,
Now, this
are
lift
all in there
here
battling.
from Chen from Taipei, he had a 322.5 on the board. This will give him a 1030 this will give him a 1030 total, but he needs to get it on there because Sofier is right behind and ready to strike. If he makes a mistake, Sofier's just going to come flying through the door.
Well, and his best international pull is 345. He's opening in here at 322.5. But you know the Belsier has that big Scud missile deadlift.
Well, you look at his limb length. He's built to deadlift. Good lever arms. That
Easy
should be
looking
a good
opening
lift.
attempt.
Yes, that's
And it's on the board. That'll hold him just for a little bit.
Now and again, what does he try to do?
Yeah, and look, it's a really tough decision for him. He's going to be very mature about it. You know, he really needs to be safe, but he needs to put himself in a position where he's not pulling last, pulling first. He needs to be pulling towards the end there so he can really sort of set the benchmark. But again, tries to go too big to open the gap up too much, and he opens the door.
Now we have Quentin Meyer at 325. So Meyer and Sarek and Giampa have to just make all 3 attempts, push people, hope somebody else ahead of them makes a mistake so they can jump up. So they're not only battling each other in this little block right here, they're also hoping somebody else makes a mistake. So the best of the rest, the guys who are in 4th, 5th, 6th, one of them can try to jump up. But for that to happen, tragedy has to happen for somebody who's already sitting on the platform, already sitting on the medal stand.
So Thomas Sarek from Czechia, 330 now. Well under his best lift of 355. And he's another one sitting 992.5.
Followed in 1 minute, sorry, Czech Republic.
Here comes your silver medalist in total from last year, Thomas Sarek. And let me tell you, when he won this in Czechia last year, they went crazy.
That crowd was mad. The stadium was absolutely packed wall to wall.
I want to say it was the highest finish in that class ever for a check lifter. Is that? I mean, it was a big deal. It was a
Just
really
trying to
big
remember
deal.
back, and I think it might well be.
Yeah, it was a big deal for him. And there was no way he was going to beat Bishkov. It just wasn't going to happen. But he ran over a lot of other guys.
And that is a strong deadlift. 330.
Yeah, it's absolutely beautiful. Now, just understand how strong Manolo Campos is. He's still in first place in the deadlift.
And right now, Sofiane from France, 340. And this is a really important pull here. If he puts this on the board, he stays right in touch with that silver medal, just waiting for Tien to make a mistake.
Now, I like his squat. I like his squat. I love his bench press. But watch his deadlift.
And we talk about biomechanics. If you look at the length of those arms, the way his arms are built, he has the perfect lever arms for deadlift.
You know, and it's, to me, it's kind of crazy that he has as good a bench press as he does. And he's one of those guys, the great deadlifters. Like I said, I'd rather be a great squatter and a great deadlifter and work on my bench. He's consistently worked on his bench.
Oh,
no.
Gets a little off balance at the top. We said this was important. 3 red lights.
Wow, that was almost too light for him.
Yeah, we talk about making mistakes. That right there is a mistake.
He did not.
We did not see coming.
He did not pull that through. Wow. So there you go. We were talking about somebody making a mistake.
And there it
is.
is,
And then one of
right
that
there.
group jumping up. There you go. I mean, Sofiane should be able to make that 340. I've seen him pull it before.
So Chen now has the opportunity to widen the gap between him and Sofia. But right now, Bishkov from the Ukraine, 350. And has no problem with that.
And again, that is strong. He's now in first place, gold medal position in the deadlift. He is still 70 kilos behind the world record.
And that gives him a 1,095 total, which is a good 50 kilos in front of Chen. So in reality, barring a miracle, in reality, that pretty much secures him in the gold medal position overall.
Yeah, I mean, we're looking for, but Bishkov has a shot at the 11:27 that he set last year in Pilsen. So let's 11:27 and a half. So he might.
Yeah, look, I think he's got a shot at it, and he's in a position now where he's not really having to worry about the silver medal. He can get his second lift on the board and go, you know what? Let's take a crack at it. He's put in a 370 for his second, which will take him to 1115, which he's sort of setting himself up to have a bit of a crack at that 1127.5. Victor Samuelson, 315 goes on the bar.
Yeah, I mean, right now, too, it's interesting. We'll see what happens with Shen when he comes up at 335. He smokes that. He can really put some pressure on Sofiane Belsier and really widen that lead a little bit. And then Sofiane's got to worry about the other three guys right behind him.
Gets to the top with 315. Probably wanted one of his prettiest, and it wasn't enough to get the whites. He gets 2 red lights. The coach is going to go and have a chat to the jury. Dominic Powell from Germany, 317 and a half. So 317.5 goes on the bar for Dominic Powell.
Followed in 1 minute for Germany. Gudjashev, next lifter.
and handles that without any problems at all.
Second lift, 317 still on the bar. Lifter Ivan Goryachev.
So Ivan Goryachev from Russia, 317.5 stays on the bar for him.
Followed in 1 minute, Goryachev, Russia. Yampa, next lifter.
And again, no problem at all. So the board is looking very green at the moment, which is nice to see.
So 11:27.5 is what we're looking at to see if Bishkov can break the world record total. He does not have the advantage of being able to add a chip and do something like go 127. 11:28. Because he's not going to be able to approach that 420, and the only way you can put anything less than 2.5 kilos is on a world record.
Yeah, so he's got to do it in full increments. Cody Jampia from US of A, 320 on the bar.
So that 11, if he exceeds 11:27.5, it will give him the new world record in total. If he goes 11:32.5. It'll put him in silver medal position for champion of champions.
And I'll tell you what, to be able to stand up there in silver medal position of champions in the sort of competition we have here, that is a pretty amazing feat.
And if he's able to get that 11:32.5, he will come in second to Sergey Fedosenko, possibly the greatest powerlifter of all time, certainly in terms of
if there's anyone I'd like to come second to, it's probably Sergey Fedosenko. He's without doubt one of the greatest lifters of all time.
Yeah, no doubt.
Chi Sen Chen, Chinese Taipei, 335, and this lift here is going to stretch that gap out in the silver medal position a bit and give him a little bit of breathing room.
This really damages Belsier because it will give Tien 10:42.5.
It's really going to give him some breathing space, isn't it?
And Sofian, yeah, so that gives him 10:42.5.
Yeah, look, that was a really smart lift to put on. He didn't throw that much on for the second lift.
Now,
he played a smart, safe, mature lift there.
Now, here's how much Sofian is damaged at this point. He has moved from the silver medal position by missing that one attempt all the way down to fourth if he makes his next lift.
Yeah, but he's got to get this one on. Quinton Meyer up now from the US of A.
You know, and so that's how fragile it is. And I told you that Belsier always makes lifts. Now, if there's one guy who can make up that miss and then come back and still pull to get into that silver medal position, into that bronze medal position, I'd say it's him, but it's going to be tough.
Quinton Meyer gets his 337.5 on the board, and certainly is going to be tough. You're right, though. If there's one person that can do it, I mean, the 340 missed open lift was completely unexpected from us.
Now, he got a bobble. It was not strength.
You know, did not expect him to do anything wrong on his opening lift, but that's how tight this is. A tiny little mistake like that has dropped him all the way back down.
Right. And so going into this after subtotals, what I said was that Belsier, he just needs to make his lifts. He needs to make his first attempt deadlift, second attempt, and then pull for the win, put some pressure on somebody, and then hold off those guys in 4, 5, and 6. Well, one of those guys in 4, 5, and 6, Goryachev, has jumped up and stolen his bronze medal at this point.
Yeah, and Chan's got that 335 on the board that's just stretched the lead a little bit further and made it a little bit harder for anyone to peg down silver now.
I mean, Sofian has come back from misses like this. He's been so consistent today.
Well,
he makes this pull. Let's see what happens here.
Here he is, 340 on the bar. It certainly wasn't too heavy for him. It flew up.
You know, and that's generally what you were going to
And that
expect
one,
from Belkacem.
You know, you could see his concentration changed. He wasn't relaxed. He wasn't laxed on that. Had some respect for that one. Thomas Sarek from Czechia now, 350 kilograms, goes on the bar.
Now, Sofian is in 4th. All right? He stands right now at, well, excuse me. He's at 10:27.5. So he is ahead of Gorachev, but he's got to hit his lifts. He just put in.
So he's put in a 347 after taking the 1035.
And let's see if Gorachev is going to adapt, is going to move that. Look, we saw how easy that 340 went.
Yeah, we're going to see some place changes. Everyone's putting in their numbers for their 3rd attempt, but a lot of those are just placeholders.
So Sofian just kind of looks at this thing, and he just came out and said, all right, I missed it, let me make it. I came here, you know, I was trying to solidify bronze, let me solidify bronze.
And Thomas Sarek gets 350 to the top. It should be a good lift.
Yes.
And it is.
You know, and the other good thing, well, Tien put in 350, so let's see what happens with that.
And that's a big jump, 335 to 350.
But the good thing is here, if for Belkacem, if he wants to hang on to that bronze medal, is he gets to pull after Gorachev, who's after that medal.
That's right. You know, and Tien's put in a 350, which is more of a placeholder than anything at the moment.
Right. And Quentin Meyer is sitting at 1,005. If he makes that lift, he makes his next attempt, it's 1,017.5. He's really in no danger here. But Alexei Bishkov's up now, 370. What a massive day he's had.
And he gets 370. I think the next lift he's got to decide whether he's just going to go for the record or is he going to go for enough to have a run at second best lifter.
I don't know. What do you do? Silver medal in the best lifter?
It's a tough call. His gold medal overall secured. No one's going to take that away. I mean, unless there's something we don't know about Chen, no one's taking that away. He's in a position now where he can say, let's have a crack. He's put in a 385 that puts him at 1130. You know, if he puts it at 387.5.
387.5 gives him a Wilks of 651.80, which would move him. And it's odd, even if he goes up, it's still the same. Because of the way the formula works, being heavier, it kind of levels off.
Victor Samuelson from Iceland, 322.5.
Some of the Brazilians sitting there. You got the two of the Canadians. Everybody's just kind of hanging out. Everybody's smiling, waiting for the camera. There you got some of the Americans there. Oh, look at Shane. Shane Brady standing up. Dr. Shane
Of course. Victor Samuelson from Iceland, 322.5.
Like I said, Shane Brady stood up there and started waving. Like I said before, he must be really innocent because the only people that don't like it. Right now, Victor Samuelson's up 322.5.
And it's just a bit too much for him.
Not a day for him.
A little bit lightheaded there. Just takes a second to catch his breath. But he put in a big effort.
Yeah, I mean, we're coming into the home stretch here. I mean, we're going to see a world record attempt in total coming up for Bishkov. Tien is locked into that, but we're going to keep an eye and see what Tien and Belkacem do.
Yeah, we'll see a few changes there. Dominic Powell up now with 325.
Got a lot of green on that board, man. I'll tell you, it's good to see that.
This is one of the greenest looking boards we have had.
A lot of made attempts. And that's why this is, we say it's boring, everything's just being made. Nothing's really being ground out. They're making it. The misses are pretty big misses. And they're doing what they have to do to try to put themselves in position to place and win.
325 from Germany.
And right after this, we got the hunt for placings. A huge hunt.
You'll start to see the coaches hanging out of at the table there.
I would be shocked if we don't see a change coming here from somebody.
And that one goes on the board. 327.5 gets loaded on for Ivan Gorachev. And this lift here will take him to 10:30.
Nope, he just changed.
He did.
Went to 3:30 now. That'll take him to 10:32 and a half. Will move him ahead of Sofiane Belsier. However, Sofiane gets to pull last. He gets to pull beyond him.
He does. So 3:30 goes on the bar.
Tien put in that he went 3:35 and then 3:50. I think part of the reason he went 3:50 there is he wanted to stay ahead of Belkacir. He wanted to have that last pull. He didn't want to have Belkacir be able to put something crazy on
look,
and try to pull to beat
and that's
him.
it. And then you tend to do that if you're in the position. You know, if Tien has to pull before Sofiane from France, then Sofiane then has the opportunity to put whatever he needs on the bar to overtake.
Now, here's where the danger is. Tien stands at 1,042.5 right now. Belkacir has a 3:47.5 and it's 10:35. Tien.
He
bobbled.
just
That's a bobble right
couldn't
there.
get it.
So are we going to see before bar is called loaded for Belkacir him try to jump up and take out that 10:42? He only needs another 7.5 kilos on that attempt to do it.
All right, he's still got a few minutes to make that decision because Cody Jumper's up now with 3:30.
But the problem is behind him is Thomas Sarek.
Right there, hanging around.
So if Sofiane plays around and tries to go for silver and hopes Tien misses, Tien has dropped to 3:42.5. Belkacir has dropped to 3:45. I knew that Tien put that 3:50 in because he's trying to suck Belkacir in.
Look, it was a good placeholder and a smart
Right.
placeholder as well.
Now, by being where he was, Sofiane Belkacir forced Tien to drop to 3:42.5. And it's smart because that'll give him 1,050. But if he bobbles and misses it, Belkacir is now behind him, can jump up and snag that from him. But again,
And 3:30 just proving to be a little bit too much for Cody.
But again, Thomas Sarek is sitting there in the wings waiting to steal Belkacir's bronze.
Yeah, look, Belkacir pushing too hard is a big risk.
Sarek,
do you risk that bronze medal?
Sarek has only taken a 7.5 kilo jump from 350 to 357.5. Sarek's best pull is 345. So he's well above what he's ever done in an international at this point. So who knows? I mean,
Well, Tien's taking the 342.5. So this is going to be a very important lift. If he doesn't get this lift, it opens the door for Belkacir to throw whatever he wants on there to take a crack at it if he wants to.
I mean, if he makes it, basically Belkacir is just defending that bronze medal.
And Tien's lifts have been fantastic so far.
If he misses this gives Belkacir pause. Does he go to 350? Does he go to 350? Because he is a lighter lifter. Does he go to 350 to beat Tien? But if Tien hits this 342.5 right here, closes the door, and it's going to change the mind of the French lifter, Sofiane Belkacir, about whether he takes that 345 or what he does.
Well, here we go. Let's have a look. And it's just too much. He bobbled it there. That should be 3 reds. 2 reds and a white. He got the bobble. So now what does Sofiane do? He's got right up to bar loaded to make a change.
I mean, look, Sarek is not going to jump up and be able to pull something crazy right here.
Well,
no, they're putting him to 345.
345.
Yep.
He's decided that any more to pull over, try and pull past 1042 is going to be too much.
See, and that's where that miss on the open, I said, Sofiane needs to make all of his attempts. And then Tien to make a mistake. Tien just made that mistake there. But because Sofiane's mistake came on the first,
that's right.
It's
made
a problem.
The difference.
Had he made that 40, like really, he's only going up 5 kilos here. He's just trying to solidify. 5 kilos is never a jump in the deadlift. So if he had been 340, he probably would have gone 350 maybe, 347.5, and then be going for 352.5, which would give him actually 355, right, would give him the silver medal, I believe, correct?
It would. 355 would give him the silver.
Right. So you see what that mistake did. That was an easy 345 for him. So missing that opener on a really technical lift there cost you.
Yeah, we talk about how one single mistake, when it's a closely packed list like this, one little mistake is all it takes.
Right. And you know, we didn't, because Tien is a stronger lifter, Belkacem needed to be perfect and not show a crack in that wall. That 340, when it happened, I said that's probably the end, unless the end of the hunt for the silver, unless Tien does something. Sofian has had a absolutely great day. I'm taking nothing away from him. He was
Absolutely not.
If he was going to take Tien is a stronger lifter. But Belkacem today was nearly perfect and still could not get Tien. He needed that perfect day. Right now, Quentin Meyer, 345. This, I'm shocked a little bit, because this will not move him the bronze medal position in the deadlift. He is the heavier lifter than Belkacem. If he'd gone to 3...
And that was a tough squeeze to the top.
You know what?
I don't think he had 347 and a half
I don't
in
think
him.
he had 2.5 kilos, and maybe that's what the coaches knew.
Now our last lifter for this evening, 380.
340, and then 352, he would be in bronze medal position. He's not for this medal.
Yeah, you've got to get your lifts on the board.
Yeah.
And you've got to choose those opening lifts.
And
give yourself room to move, let the nervous system warm up to it.
Actually, 347.5 would have made it, and he opened at 340. So that's why, again, 47 would have gone for him easily, especially if he'd taken 340 as his second attempt instead of an opener. Right here, Thomas Sarek, he is your silver medalist in the deadlift. He's in...
Yeah, it's just a little too much at 357 and a half. Just couldn't quite get it back. Really had it come forward a bit there.
All right, so this is a world record in total right here.
It certainly will be. Alexei Vyshkov from the Ukraine, looking for a 1,130 total for a world total record. But to do it, he's got to pull 385.
This is Tatiana Melnick clapping. She's a great world champion. She is a great referee. She's just she's a mom. She's a professor. She's just an awesome person. There we go. There's some of the Americans sitting there. A couple of world champions. Everybody is standing up for this world record now. 385 kilos. Will break his own record of 1127 in total that he set last year.
1,130 kilo total. He is absolutely pumped for this lift. It's a few kg over his best. 385. If anyone can do it, it's this man.
Cap off on
He's had a great day.
Nearly perfect day for this man.
And just a little bit too
big
much.
round of applause here for Vyshkov.
He gave it everything he had, but he will go away a world champion here today.
You can't feel bad about him missing that, because when you're pulling to beat yourself, that's not a bad day. It means you're a pretty darn good lifter. And he walks away with the gold medal.
Well, he was the world champion, the gold medal with 1,115. Chan comes in with the silver medal with a 1042, and Sophia from France comes in with the bronze medal with a 1032. What an afternoon of lifting! What a week of lifting so far, and there is still one day of lifting to go, and the really big boys will come out to play tomorrow.
Yeah, and the 125 pluses. The 120s, I don't know, for whatever reason, it's always a little bit, come in, make, and then some guys
Yeah,
will
and
miss
the
at
120
end.
pluses, though, it's
No,
all action.
It's all or nothing. Those guys are all or nothing guys. They're the biggest guys with the biggest egos. They're going to come in here. We're going to see shots at the world record in the squat. We'll probably see a shot in the bench, depending if it comes in the flow.
As soon as that flag drops tomorrow, it is going to be on for young and old. So don't go away. We'll be right back with the medal ceremonies. And, of course, we'll be back again tomorrow for the action.
See you tomorrow. Woof, woof.
Let's go. Give him a round of applause. Vamos. Come on. Come on. Here they come. Okay, stop. Get closer, get closer. Like to make a presentation of the people who will hand over a small souvenir. The CIPF President, Mr. Gaston Perage. A round of applause, together with Javier Piterac, TC member. All lifter will have a small glass memory from the championships. So, the presentation in squat. Bronze medal goes to France and Sofiane Belkacir, 407 kgs. Silver medal goes to Ukraine and Alexei Vishko, 415. Gold medal in squat goes to Chinese Taipei and Shi Sen Tian, 415 kgs, but lighter bodyweights. Photos. Thank you. Спасибо. Merci. Bronze medal in bench press goes to Russia and Ivan Koryashev, 310 kgs. Ivan Koryashev. Silver medal goes to Mongolia and Shambram Shurey, 315. Gold medal goes to Ukraine and Alexei Bushko, 330. Photos. Thank you. Спасибо. And in deadlift, bronze medal goes to France and Sofiane Belkacir, 345. Silver medal goes to Czech Republic and Tomas Sadik, 350 kgs. And gold medal goes to Ukraine and Alexei Vishkov, 370. Thank you. Спасибо. And total. Bronze medal goes to France and Sofiane Belkacir, 1032.5. Silver medal goes to Chinese Taipei and Shi Sentian, 1042.5. And the gold medal and world champion goes to Ukraine and Alexei Bishko, 1115. Ladies and gentlemen, would you please stand up for the national anthem of Ukraine? All right, ladies and gentlemen, give all the lifters a round of applause.